But yeah, hopefully we'll get there. Hopefully some of your energy will rub off on me, ne? Okay. Right. So I told you guys for revision today, we're going to go and do what? ICE task 2. Did we do it? Can you show me? I want to see. I want to see. So questions 1 to 3 are theory, right? So let's start from question 4.
Yeah.
So it's the theory, you guys can do it, ne? Can do it in the meantime. Deal with the practical stuff, right? So let's see how far we get, because they had what? 8 questions over there. But it's fine. We are just going through the question and then we look at the answers, isn't it? So let's begin. Question 4, they say, calculate, and just, yeah, all right. They say, calculate the bank account balance in the general ledger on 30 April, okay? Using the information below. Show clearly if it is a debit or credit balance, okay? Also show clearly if you add or subtract an amount. Guys, make sure we don't have to guess what is going on. What are you doing? Okay, right. So then here, first line item they give us, they say favorable balance per bank statement on 30 April 2024. I think I actually don't want to use this. Let's go with green. Okay, favorable balance as per bank statement 30 April 2024. Remember, our job is to calculate what? The bank balance, right? At 30 April, isn't it? And this is the bank balance in our books, in the general ledger. So are we using this amount here? That is the balance per bank statement for 30 April. Are we using this 5,500? I'm hearing noises. I can't make out what people are saying. No. Okay, I've got 2 no's here. And that's 100% right. We are not using this. Okay. So then we go to the next line. Favorable balance on the bank account in the general ledger on 1st April 2024. Are we using that? Yes, we are. This is going to be your opening. Right? That's going to be your opening. Then we have total receipts per April cash receipts journal or cash book receipts. Are we going to use that? Yes, we are. Okay, we're going to use this. This is your cash receipts journal. Okay, and then obviously the next one is the total payments per April, right? That's obviously your cash payments journal. Okay, so that's going to be a negative. This is obviously going to be a positive. We go down. It says the following differences were found between April cash books and bank statement. Okay, so they've done the comparison for us. Okay, bank charges, where is this going to go? CPJ. Stop order to Wi-Fi provider. Interest on a CR balance. Are you sure? Why? Explain it to me.
Because you're receiving a credit balance would mean it's favorable.
Okay.
And it means that you have a positive amount in your bank account. And because of that, the banks are rewarding you by giving you interest.
My good sir, is that what you wanted to say? You agree with it? Are we all in agreement? Okay. I agree with you guys. I agree with you guys. Okay. Deposit reflected in the April cash book receipts not shown on the bank statement. 100% bank recon. And then direct deposit by debtor, superstores. CRJ, 100%. Okay, then here it says EFT 568 was correctly recorded in the bank statement at 1,560. Okay, so it was correctly recorded, 1,560. All right, that was correct. However, the bookkeeper showed it as 560 in the cash payments journal. Showed it as 560. So immediately we know you got a difference in amount. So what's the difference there? 1,000. Okay, so what are we doing now with this 1,000? Okay, yes, because the payment that we recorded with this EFT was less than what it should be by 1,000. Okay, so that's, I would do that just to make my life easy. So I don't need to reread the transaction. But then the last one says EFT 565 was correctly shown in the cash payments journal as 3,460. Okay. However, the bank statement, on the bank statement, it was shown as 3,000. Let me put it here, 3,640. What must happen? You get 180. What must we do with this 180? You put in the cash receipt. And this was in the... So you guys said it should go to the bank recon. I agree with you. Why? Say it again.
Like, I think things like if there's an error in the bank statement.
Yes. Any errors or amendments on the bank side must be rectified via the bank recon, right? That's the only place that we have to place errors and amendments that the bank has made. Yes. Okay, so now let's look and see. Now that you've done that, let's look and see if what we have done is in alignment with what they did. So there you can see that 5,570 was for the bank recon. This was April. April's closing balance will be the opening balance in the bank recon. Okay? When I say closing balance, I'm saying closing balance from the bank statement. All right? Can you see that they said favorable balance per bank statement. Okay. All right. So we ignore it. Then you can see they started with the favorable balance on the bank account in the general ledger. Boom. There's your 9,390. And then they plugged in the totals for your cash receipts, which is a positive value. And then they deducted the total on the cash payments, which is obviously a negative because that's money leaving us. And then the following differences were found between April cash books and the bank statement. So as you guys so rightly highlighted, we deduct the bank charges, we deduct the Wi-Fi, the interest on the credit balance, we're adding it there. And then obviously the deposit that reflected in the cash receipts, but not shown in the bank, it's going to the bank recon, okay? And then obviously you've got your direct deposit, which is increasing our bank balance account, all right? It was a direct deposit, so it reflected on the statement, but didn't reflect in our books, so we're adding that. And then there was the 1,000 that we were calculating just now, Okay. Yeah, our bookkeeper recorded it at 560, isn't it? So we needed to cover that gap. And then the last amount we said the bank made the mistake, so it's going to the bank report. So that's the amount that you should have for that question. Not too hard, ne? Hmm. In terms of the structure, layout.
I didn't get the bank refund. I somehow this also similar to I think since we have like information to data, and is that like
You get the same balance.
yes to the same balance?
You did get the same balance. Oh, okay.
That's the long one.
Well, you would be wasting your time because remember the only thing they want is the bank balance in your general ledger, isn't it? So you would be wasting your time. If you have the time and you've managed to cover the question, you're feeling confident about the other stuff you've done already in the test, because I would say you can double check, but double check after you finish the other questions. Because if you double check, you haven't yet finished all the other questions. You may just be compromising yourself. Okay. Right. I'm glad you're asking that. Okay, these revision sessions are also about exam, or in this case, test technique, isn't? So feel free to throw in such questions as well. So with question 5, what's going on there? They're saying make use of the transactions provided below, complete the individual account of Spider-Man suppliers in the creditors ledger of VC traders for May 2024. Round all amounts to the nearest rand. Okay. The perpetual inventory system is used and all parties are registered at vendors. Okay, so they want us to do what? The individual account for these creditors. The individual account of Spider-Man suppliers, all right, in the creditors ledger of VC traders. Okay. Right. So let's see what's going on here with these transactions. Okay. So first one. Okay, let me zoom in because some of you at the back might not be able to see. They say outstanding balance 1 May. Okay, so that's obviously going to be our opening balance, isn't it? Right? Then it says VC traders paid Spider-Man suppliers the full outstanding balance on this day via EFT after claiming 5% early settlement discount. Okay? So, to get that amount, what must we do? Yes, we can do it that way. Or we can say, remember, we want to calculate, there's 2 transactions that need to happen here, isn't? And we know they're both coming off of this amount owing. What's the first transaction? No. The discount we're only receiving because we've made payment and we've made an early payment. So the first one is CPJ, where we're making the payment. So we have made a payment of 95%, and the discount is 5%. Okay. Now, obviously, we're doing the creditors ledger or the individual creditor. So we actually need both amounts. Okay. So first things first, we can just say 0.95 times that amount. What do you get? And 35. No sense. Oh, yeah, it did say that. Okay. So then you can just minus to get the difference. What's our 5%? And this is happening in the general journal. Settlement discounts happen in the general journal, isn't it? 2044. Okay. Right. Now, the reason why I'm doing that is, remember, in your individual debtors, your first entry, well, it doesn't have to be, you can do either one first. Okay. But the whole point is that you need to have two separate entries. First one, the payment. Second one, the discount, isn't it? Okay. So anyway, we just want to know what we need to do with each of these, and then we will look at the answers. So on the 8th, it says VC traders purchased inventory from Superman suppliers. Okay, and then they give us the invoice number. Okay, awesome stuff. So this is obviously gonna increase or decrease our account. What are we doing with this? Are we debiting or crediting? Yes, we're crediting. Okay, because our account is increasing. We owe more now. Here we were debiting, and here we are debiting. Okay, sorry, I didn't talk to that. Okay, so then the next one, again, purchased inventory from Superman suppliers. So this we're treating the same. We're also going to credit that. Happy with that. Then it says VC traders returned some of the inventory purchased on 15 May as their stock controller claimed the items were damaged. We're debiting this, huh? But now I have a question for you. Okay, we'll deal with it when we look at the answers. It's fine. Right. So on the 20th now it says VC traders purchased inventory from Spider-Man suppliers, and there's the invoice. The original price for the items were 24,600. Okay. However, Spider-Man suppliers allowed a 10% trade discount on the items. Okay. So what are we recording? Since it was a purchase, right? We obviously debiting the amount, right? But now what amount are we actually debiting? Sorry, crediting. You guys, why didn't you correct me? Okay, yeah, that's fine. Okay. Yes. We're crediting. What is the amount? No, somebody was saying something. I didn't fully catch. I don't know who it was. Yes. You tell me. What must happen? What are we doing? How do we get the amount? This is a trade discount. Notice there's a difference between settlement discount and trade discount. I believe your 1A teacher taught you these things. Your lecturer. I've heard of him. Okay, 24,600 times 10 over 100, yes. Mm-hmm. Okay. Which is the amount that will be credited. Okay, so that's correct. Okay. Another way you could have just done it is 24,600 times 90 over 100. Because this is where we want to get to, isn't it? Okay. And what do we do with this 10%? Is there anything we do with it? Must we record it? Are you sure? We don't record it. But how come we were recording settlement discounts? Why aren't we recording this one? So with trade discounts, we don't record it. Why? The actual discount. Why? You guys, you make me happy sometimes, eh? Make me very happy sometimes. Okay, so here, last one. VC traders purchases inventory from Superman suppliers. Oh, by the way, before I rush, did everybody get what she said? Okay, so I don't need to explain it. Okay. So when we go to Edgar's and we see red hanger sale and they say 50%, 30%, whatever percentage discount, when we get to the till, right, we're being charged whatever the amount is after the discount. Can you see that? So we're not worried about what the discount was. We're not going to record that in our books, right? Because we got quoted the amount after the discount. With a settlement discount, we are being charged 100% of the price. And then we're just saying, if you pay early, we'll give you a discount. Can you see that? So the full price is in our books already because we don't know if we're going to have the benefit of the settlement discount or not. Does that make sense? So we have to record the discount because if the price was 5,000 and we say if you pay by the end of the month, you can pay 4. In our books is 5,000. So we have to remove that 1,000 discount. Does that make sense? Okay. So that's what we mean when we say the discount is happening at the point of sale. Okay. Right. Okay, awesome stuff. So let's see now what did we read this one? VC Traders purchases inventory from Superman. This is also going to be credited. Okay, so no issues there. Right, so let's see what they did. Okay, and guys, once you've read the required, this is now just about exam and test technique. Once you've read the required, look at your workbook and see the structure of the statements or the stuff that they provided you. Because that's going to guide you as to how to answer the question. Does that make sense? What they actually want to see in your answer. Okay. So here you can see we brought forward our opening balance. All right. Then you can see our calculation on the, what is this? The settlement discount, the amount that we actually paid, we debited. Okay. Please, guys, make sure you've got your folio on lock. Okay, because obviously with the bank in bank recon, you need to show me your folio, and also in the debtors and creditors control, you need to show your folio. Also now with your individual debtors, you need to show your folio. So you need to go and make sure you're happy with these. Okay. So there you can see. Then the settlement discount journal voucher, happy with that. And then obviously on the 8th and 15th, we were buying. So we've credited those amounts and adjusted our balances accordingly. This was the issue that I was mentioning earlier. Can you see here? They've said what? Debit note. What is a debit note? Or maybe let's start here. What is a credit note? I know you know this one. What is a credit note? Some? Yes, sir.
So is it when something purchased on credit is being returned?
Yes. The moment we have a credit note, something is either being returned or there is a rebate, isn't it? So if we go back to this transaction, let's see what was actually happening. That was on what date? 16th. So on the 16th, it says VC Traders returns some of the inventory purchased on the 15th of May, all right, as their stock controller claimed that the items were damaged. So should we have a debit note? Because we just said a credit note is when something is being returned, all right, or we're getting a rebate. So the source document there should not be debit note, it should be credit note. That's the first thing I want to do. Now, according to you guys, what is a debit? In 1A, a debit note is you charge me 4,000 rand, right? But then you realize, big mistake. You are actually supposed to charge Aubrey 5,000. How are you going to charge me for that 1,000 difference? you need to issue me a debit note. So you're actually increasing what I owe you. Does that make sense? Because the initial invoice that you sent me or you provided me with was lower than what it should have been. So can you see? It's the opposite of a credit note. Okay. So just be mindful of that when you are revising this, that should be credit note and not debit note. Okay. Okay. Cool. And then obviously the last two transactions were the same. We were buying more inventory on credit. Okay. So yeah, the only difference is here we had a trade discount. So we're just calculating the 90% as we were speaking earlier. Okay. So that's what your answer should have looked like. Any questions before we move on? So there you can see a whole 20 marks just from getting that right. It's too easy, ne? Too. Let me just quickly record this here. Right. Just want to throw this in here. Okay. Let's get back to it. So that was question 5. Let's get into question 6. So question 6, they are saying, making use of the information provided below, complete the creditor's control account. I love these ones. Creditor's control account in the general ledger of VC Traders for May 2024. Balance the account at the end of the month. Okay, so round all amounts to the nearest rand. The perpetual inventory system is used and all parties are registered VAT vendors. Okay. So, first line item, opening balance on 1 May 2024. Okay, so that's obviously our opening balance. So happy with that. Okay, then it says total cash purchases for May per the cash payments journal. What are we doing with this? Are we crediting it? Are you sure? Why is it not recorded? And what are we doing? We're doing the creditors, isn't it? So this one, it's a trick, it's a trap. Ignore this thing. It's non-applicable. Okay, irrelevant. Okay, because all cash purchases would affect what? The bank. Okay, so now let's go. Let's move to the next one. It says total credit purchases for May per the credit journal. What's happening here? We bought things on credit. The creditors journal is whenever we buy on credit. Okay, so is this going to affect the creditors control? What are we going to do with this amount here? We're gonna credit. Yes, it's going to increase our creditors control. Okay, what are we going to call? Because remember, we're doing the creditors control, right? So what are we going to, what is it going to be under details? We said we're going to credit. Okay, so it can either be trading inventory and VAT, or it can be sundry purchases and VAT, or it can be purchases and VAT. Okay, since we're on the perpetual, you can use any three of those. If we were on the periodic, you would have to go with these two. We'd have to use purchases because we don't have trading inventory. So just be mindful of that. Okay, right. Then we go to, and then obviously we're putting CJ in the folio, isn't? Then we go to the next one. The next one, total purchases returns for May per CAJ. Well, are we doing anything with this 11,000? What are we doing? Yes, it's decreasing our creditors control and we are debiting. And then what are we writing in details? Yeah. So yeah, if you put trading inventory returns, it's pretty long. It might not fit. Okay, but yeah, you wouldn't be wrong. And VAT. Okay, so I would just say returns and VAT. Okay, but you can also say purchases, returns, and VAT. Okay. Yeah, so that's what you want to write there in the details. And obviously in the folio, we're putting CAJ. Okay, so guys, remember what I said about question 2.7? This is what we're doing right now. Please make sure you know that thing. Because here, can you see they're doing us a favor and saying CAJ, CJ, and so on. But in your test or exam, they might just say total purchases returns. And you must now know which journal would that have come from. Does that make sense? Okay. So the next one, they say total EFT payments to creditors. Is this relevant for us? Are you sure? Where is it supposed to go? If so, 100%, this should go to your debit side. And then what are we saying in the details here? As simple as that. We're saying bank. Okay. All right. Then the next one, early settlement discount received from creditors. What's happening there? What are we doing? Yes? Yep. Should reduce how much we owe. Yeah, we debit. And then what are we saying? Yeah, you would be saying the same things as here. Either trading inventory and VAT, sundry purchases and VAT, or purchases and VAT. Okay, right? Then, last one. It says interest charged by creditors on overdue accounts. We're going to credit, yes. It's going to increase what we owe, isn't it? And then what are we writing in the details? I'm getting distinctions. I'm getting distinctions. We can write tomorrow even. Okay, so that's what we should have managed to produce. All right. Any questions here? So can you see they didn't write inventory, trading inventory. They just wrote inventory. Okay, so that's something we're learning something new there. Okay. No, that's fine. So question 6. We're moving. We are moving. Okay. Sure. Somebody tell me when it's 10:02, ne? So you can get our break. I can hear some of our friends are yawning now. So question 7, 20 marks. Let's see. Question 6 was how much? 15. Okay. Just the creditors control. Imagine 15 marks. And your test is out of 50. So if you throw away the 15 marks, already you're fighting for your life. Okay. So question 7 says, while preparing the May creditors list and creditors control account, the bookkeeper has found that there are certain errors and omissions. Complete the creditors list for VC traders for May 2024 and update the creditors control in the general ledger with the following errors and omissions. Okay. Total the creditors list and balance the creditors control account. Okay, round all amounts to the nearest rand. The perpetual inventory system is used and all parties are registered VAT vendors. Okay, right. So errors and or omissions. So here, first one, they say cash purchases from Wonder Woman wholesalers were included in the creditors journal of May and amounted to 15,570. Is there anything wrong there? Is there a problem? What's the problem? Yes, the problem here is cash purchases. All right, we're recorded where? In the creditors journal. We only make entries into the creditors journal when we have done what? Bought on credit. So what then must we do with this 15,000? We must deduct it. From where are we deducting it? The debtors list or the debtors control? Oh, sorry. Creditors list or the creditors control? You're saying creditors list. Why? From Wonder Window is included in the creditors journal. So you guys are saying it must go to the creditors list only. Only. Tell me. Only. I actually think it should go to the creditors control. And I think it should only go to the creditors control. Because remember, what do we post? Where do we post the things that are in the creditors journal? The totals, isn't? Go to the creditors control. So, but let's see. Which one? We were question 7. That was 15. Oh, so they did minus it in both. So you guys were right. They've minused it in Wonder Woman's individual because that's the creditors list. And what have they gone on to do? Can you see here under sundry purchases and VAT? They have also minused the 15,570. So
they didn't say like that it was posted from creditors journal. So how were we to know? How do you know then that it's supposed to go to both the creditors list and the creditors control?
I'm utilizing the word that the included bit. I think that's my only guiding light. Because if they had said and posted it as such, yeah, because that's what we've seen in our textbooks, isn't it? So I would use that as the guiding light, included. And they said from Wonder Woman. So they were also specific with the individual creditor. So I think that also is then a hint. Yeah.
Because normally wouldn't they ask it like number 4, where they'd say like the Batman traders and then creditors allowance journal and posted as such.
Yeah, that's what we're used to. That's what we're used to. But I think they were using this as a hint that the individual, because also what they could have said is the cash purchases, all right, were included in the creditors control total. That would have told you that it's only this amount at the bottom of that column. Can you see that? And if it's only in that total of the column, then you know that this is the amount that gets to the creditors control. Because only the line items would then be affecting the individual creditors. Can you see that? So, yeah. Creditor. Yeah. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. That's definitely what I'm thinking. Yeah. So let's go to our break, right? Nobody told me it was when it was 10 to, but it's fine. Let's take our break. Then when we get back, we'll finish off 7 and 8. And then we'll see if there's some theory that we'll have time for as well. Okay.